Google display ads are some of the biggest golden mines for you when it comes to your e-commerce store, and unfortunately there's just not a lot of good resources out there that can tell you exactly how to get amazing results with display ads. Now don't get me wrong, you can't be expecting millions and millions of dollars of sales from display ads. However, display ads have the potential of getting your e-commerce store in front of the right eyeballs, meaning people who have already come onto your website previously, which can of course lead to some very big and juicy numbers in terms of revenue and ROAS. But exactly how do you even create display ads, and exactly what are display ads to begin with? Before we actually start talking about how to set up a display ad, it's extremely important for you to know exactly what a display ad is. So exactly what is a display ad? Now, display ads are a special network within the entire category of the Google Ads networks, and these display ads appear directly within promotion tabs, social tabs, other forums, articles, videos, websites, and just in general across various different Google's networks, because Google has partnered up with these various different websites in order to have those small banner ads or those small image ads appear on these websites. So display ads are naturally what you see when you go on a forum or when you go on a website, even YouTube for that matter, with what you see on the watch feed or the home page, etc. So display ads are basically designed to be available on these different kinds of placements where naturally you would not be able to place your ad, such as again what I just mentioned. And the main reason why display ads are some of the biggest golden mines, the biggest cash cows, is simply because display ads have the ability to push your ads to up to 3 billion people. That's right, 3 billion with a B. Not a million, but 3 billion. And trust me, when you're getting that many eyeballs on your ads, it makes a huge difference as to how much you do per month in sales. I mean, this can be the difference of you doing $100,000 in monthly revenue. However, exactly when should you be using a display ad, and for what reason should you be using a display ad? Because believe it or not everybody should be using display ads. In my own experience and my own personal advice, I always recommend e-commerce store owners to run display ads only after they have gathered a certain amount of traffic on their website and a certain amount of sales on their website. Because for the sake of this example and just what I do in general with display ads, it's always better to do retargeting with display ads compared to just running cold traffic. And here's exactly why. With display ads, if you decide to run cold traffic for this campaign, you are going to end up spending and wasting a whole bunch of money, because like I told you earlier, display ads have the ability to show up to 3 billion different individuals, which means of course almost 90% of these individuals won't have anything to do with your audience, won't have anything to do with your interest that you target for your ads, which simply means that because these people are not within the desired demographic for your e-commerce store, you're just gonna end up wasting a lot of money, because showing your ad to 90% of 3 billion is quite a lot of money. And plus, because display ads have the tendency to appear on just a random bunch of websites, meaning just on YouTube or even Gmail or these online forums and so forth, people interacting with these websites at that given time aren't necessarily in the mindset to go out and purchase something from an ad, unlike if they were just going on Google and searching for a specific product to then go ahead and purchase. Because of the different audience segments, because of the different mindset consumers have, it might be not ideal to just plain go out and run cold traffic for your display ad. So instead, what we do is we do retargeting with the display ads. Retargeting with display is one of the best things you can do to not only get more and more eyeballs on your website, but to also have a lot of more individuals going down your funnel and basically purchasing from your store in the near future or even right now through these display ads. So with display ads, what you will notice is that you will have a lot of view through conversions, which simply means that somebody comes onto your website via this display ad. However, whatever product that they clicked on with the display ad or whatever landing page they landed on was not the reason why they converted. They may have just landed on your website through your display ad, but then later on while they were browsing, they may have just purchased something directly from a product page. So this is known as a view through conversion, because that display ad directly didn't necessarily influence the sale, because whatever product page or whatever landing page that the person landed on through the display ad wasn't where they purchased. So instead, they went on some other part of your website and that's where they did the conversion, which is again a view through conversion. And you will have a lot of these with display ads. But that is essentially how display ads work. You definitely want to be doing more retargeting than just doing cold traffic for display ads. But enough of that. Exactly how do you set up a 6-figure, even a 7-figure winning display ad campaign? It is very simple to do. You don't want to be going overboard with the overall setup for a display ad campaign. Now, as you see right here, I'm on a brand new Google Ads account right here, and we will be creating a display ad step by step right from the beginning. And just for that, make sure to smash that like button down below if you haven't already, and subscribe if this is one of the first times you're watching one of my videos. But once you are on the Google Ads dashboard, here's exactly what you do. You go ahead and click on this plus button on the left, click create campaign right over here to get that campaign started. We're just gonna click the plus button. From here, you'll have 2 options. Number 1, new campaigns. Number 2, load campaign settings. We wanna click new campaign because of course we wanna start a brand new display campaign. From here, the pop-up, we want to choose sales. Of course, if your main objective is leads, you would do leads or anything else here. For e-commerce, we always do sales, and we scroll down here. Now, this is where it's extremely important. You want to make sure that these conversion goals that are coming up here, there's only one major conversion goal, which is either conversions if you want sales, or leads if you want, again, leads. In this case, we want sales only, so we would want to see purchases under the conversion goals section, and we see this other goal which we don't want. So what we're going to do is we're going to click these 3 dots and we're going to hit remove other goals. So we're going to remove that. And now the main goal for this campaign will only be conversions. This is all we want. We click continue, and now this is where you want to pay attention, because we don't choose search, we don't choose performance max, we don't choose shopping, we choose what's sandwiched right in the middle, which is display. So we're gonna hit display, and right over here, this is now where we get to write the campaign name. So we're gonna leave this blank. We don't want to write anything for the website URL, but for display, you can just write it a display retargeting campaign. So that's what we'll do. We'll just write a display retargeting, and I like to give it today's date. So for example, if we're recording on the 15th of April, that's what we would write. So 15th of April 2022, and you can write anything else that you would like. You might have also want to write in what you are targeting, so in this case USA only. But once you have done that, go ahead and click continue. We will be going on to the next page now, where we will get to choose various different settings. Now with a display campaign, before we actually change anything within the settings section, we want to take a quick look on the left side right over here. So right over here within this menu, we see the first thing that we have to set up is the campaign settings, followed by budget and bidding, which is followed by targeting, then finally ads, and you want to end it off with review. So this is what consists of creating a brand new display campaign. For location, obviously 1 country per display remarketing campaign. So we do United States only. Location options, we choose the second circle right here. And by the way, just because this display campaign is for retargeting purposes only, don't think that you can't do this for cold traffic. If you are feeling a little courageous, you can go ahead and follow these same exact steps. But when it comes to the audiences section, just not choose anything so that this goes directly to cold traffic. This is what you can do if you want to try cold traffic display ads as well. But for the sake of this example, again, we're only doing retargeting because that's the best way you want to go with the display. Once you choose your location, we scroll down languages, make sure English is chosen. For more settings, you don't necessarily want to do anything right over here. Just leave it as it is. If you want to do a dynamic display ad, however, you can come down here and you can check this box so that this is essentially becomes a dynamic display ad, which is another great way for you to do remarketing. But I do suggest that you just leave this unchecked for the first trial of your display ad and just do retargeting the normal way before you actually go out and try out these things. But click next, because now this is where we set the daily budget and bid. Now this is where it gets interesting. You don't want to be doing too insane budgets for display ads at all, because the main purpose of a display campaign is not for you to get a bunch of sales. No, the main purpose of a display campaign is for you to get enough eyeballs and enough people on your website so that not only do they go through that funnel that you've created and retrieve these sales via email marketing and all sorts of stuff like that, but also get those view through conversions, which I was talking about earlier. So instead of just going on the landing page which your display campaigns are set at, they go on the landing page, then go browse around on your website and then purchase something from a completely different landing page. This is the main goal of a display campaign. So keeping this in mind, you actually want to run a display campaign within a $5 a day budget. In fact, you can also even have a lot of success running a display campaign at a $1 a day budget, even a $2 a day budget, because again, the main goal is not to get a bunch of sales directly through this campaign, but to get those other types of conversions I was mentioning. So ideally, $1 to $2 a day budget is even more than enough for a display campaign, because again, you're just going to be getting a lot of eyeballs, a lot of clicks with a display campaign. But if you want to be a little more courageous, you can do $5 a day. I don't really recommend you do more than 5 initially until you start seeing some kinds of results coming in. So a $2 a day budget is more than enough for a display campaign. Now for bidding, here's where things get interesting. If you have over 50 conversions on your account, I highly recommend you go the conversions optimization route. Just directly optimize for conversions. And right over here, how do you want to get conversions? You leave it on automatically maximize conversions. This is something you should do only if you have over 50 sales in total for your ad account. And you do want to set a target cost per action. You want to set the target CPA at something on the lower end. So let's say, for example, your average CPA for your brand is about $50. For a display campaign, I recommend you set it at around $30, maybe even $35, because with a display campaign, it has the tendency to just go out there and get a bunch of link clicks. So you want to start it at a lower average CPA than what you are currently getting. So in this case, we're just going to start it at $30. And here, if you don't have enough conversions, it's just going to say clicks. So we just want to leave it at clicks. However, what do you do if you don't have 50 conversions? What you do instead is you come down here and you select a bid strategy directly, and what you do is you change it to maximize clicks. But for the maximum CPC bid limit, you want to put this at around 25 cents. You don't want to start this too high, because again, with a display campaign, it has the tendency to just go out there and get a lot of link clicks. Start it low. If it doesn't spend enough money at all within the first 3 days, or doesn't spend your entire budget, improve it by 5 cents every 3 days. But if it does, then just leave it as it is, and you might even want to go 5 cents lower if it's spending way too much money and just not getting any types of profits. But those are the two routes you want to go. Either you go conversions route or you go the maximize clicks route. You don't necessarily need to go any other route over here. But once you do choose whatever route you want to go through, click next. And this is where you get the targeting. So if you read what it says right here, it says optimized targeting is set for you. Optimized targeting helps you get more clicks by using information such as your landing pages and assets. You can opt out or speed up optimization by adding targets first. So notice what this says right here. So speed up optimization by adding targets first. This is exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna add targeting right over here, but we're just not gonna add any type of random targeting. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add audience segments, so people who have already interacted with our ads. So we're gonna hit browse, and right over here, it should be the fourth option. We're gonna open that up right over here, and now we have 3 different options to choose from. First one, similar segments. Second one, custom combination segments. And the third one, website visitors. So we want to add in all of these different segments within the display campaign. So again, as I mentioned to you, retargeting. So we're going to add all the necessary audiences right over here. So add to cart, obviously, because that's retargeting related. Converters, we do want to retarget to them. All visitors, Google ads. And I normally recommend that you look at these two and look at the sizes to see which one has the greater size, because we want to add whatever has the greater size, especially if it's the same audience. So we're going to do this one right here, because this one has the greater size. And we're going to look at all these other ones right over here. So we already have these. So we're going to move on now to the custom combination segment section, and we're going to add the AdWords optimized list. Final one, similar segments. We're going to add it to similar to all converters. We don't want to do anything else here, but we're going to move on down, and we're going to make sure this is chosen, because we do want to do optimized targeting. It just makes the display campaign that much extra smarter. So once you have all of these things set up right over here, we're going to click next, because now we get to the ad section, and the ad section is very special for a display ad, and it does require a little bit of extra work from your end in terms of creating images, because display is all about images, the kinds of images that you have, and so forth. So on the screen right now, you should have all of these different types of images come up. These are all the image specifications which you need to create images for. I know this is a big list and you might think that this is just too much work for you, but trust me, if you add all of these images up, you're going to have the best possible results with a display campaign. And it is, again, a lot of extra work, but it is necessary. So for these images, all you need to be doing is making sure that for the square images, your logo is within the image. So you can just make all the square images those pictures of your logo itself. And for the other types of images, maybe use your main banner image that you have on your home page, or maybe create one which has your logo in it, some of your products, and just get that banner like feel to it, because essentially what these are just banners. that will be appearing on these other websites wherever applicable. So that's why it's so crucial for you to get these images created and make sure they're aesthetically pleasing. Meaning, if you see right over here on the right side, it tells you exactly how it's going to appear within whatever section it's appearing within. So this is an image example right here of an ad. And this is going to show the image right here at the top, the headline right here, the description. And this is another variation where it's just going to show the headline with the image and so forth. So you definitely want to make sure your images look good because they need to be attractive enough for somebody to come in here and click on your actual ad. The headline and description in this case are secondary. Your main thing is image. Again, go back within this video and pause to look at all those different image specifications, which you definitely need to create. But we're going to assume you've already done that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start creating the actual display campaign. So right over here for final URL, you just want to write in your main store's URL. So in this case, we're just going to name it store.com for the sake of this example. We're just going to assume my store is called store.com. Scroll down here, business name, again, write your main business name and images. So this is where you get to add those images. You have the ability to add up to 15 different images. And if you looked at the image I had earlier of all the specifications, there's approximately 13 different sizes available. So we don't necessarily want to add all 15 images. You can just have those 13 and that should be good enough. But once you have added all of those images in, you're going to come down here to add your logos. Now with the logo size, as I told you, a square size is really enough, but you want to have multiple different sizes of logos like it says right here. There should be a landscape logo with this size and a square logo, and you can have up to 5 different logos. I highly recommend you have all those 5 logos available here and uploaded because that's just going to make it much easier for Google to find the right kind of variation in terms of the logo and see which logo people are preferring over another. Now, next step is headlines. Now, if you already watched my search ads campaign video, which if you didn't, you want to watch that one after this one, which goes over how to create your search ad step by step. I did recommend for a search ad, you should have only 3 headlines, no matter how many it offers you. Same thing here. You only want to have 3 headlines, even though it offers up to 5 different headlines. And for the long headline, you can only have 1 major one. So you want to just use that up and have that 1 singular headline, which is a long headline in this case. For descriptions, it gives you the ability to have 5 different descriptions. I highly recommend you just have only 3. But what I'm gonna do is, for the sake of this example, I'm just gonna assume that I'm selling leggings, and I'm gonna go in and I'm going to fill out all of these like I normally would with a display campaign, and I will get back to you in just a second. Alright, so I went in and I created the headlines and the description as well. So let's read some of the headlines I created, and you want to follow a similar kind of template to what I did. For the headlines, if we were selling leggings, I would just say premium luxury leggings for one of my headlines. Next one, perfect leggings for all sizes. Third one, leggings dash 59% off site-wide. So as you can see, very simple, just talking about my main product collection and just adding these filler words in for the sake of copywriting. Moving on to long headline, we say, our leggings were created for that special woman who wants to show off her curves. Again, a lot of copywriting done here, nothing too crazy, just including the main keyword, which is leggings. Description, I say, perfect leggings for that perfect woman, breathable. And I say, breathable design over 30,593 happy women. So you want to put in a number right over here, make sure it's a realistic number. Which, if it is real, is much better because I always recommend honesty. But once you do all of these things, this is how your ad is gonna look on these various different display networks. So very similar strategy to search campaigns. You do need to use proper copywriting here because, again, these ads are much smaller than a normal search ad and people aren't necessarily wanting to see these ads in the first place. So you have to do things, especially with copywriting, to make them pop out, make people want to click on your ad. But this is essentially the general strategy for creating these display campaigns. Just have 3 headlines, 1 long headline, and 2 different descriptions. For the sake of this example, I just did 1. And once all of that is done, you don't want to do anything right over here. Just click next, and it will take you to this section right over here where you can go in and review the campaign before actually publishing it. But that is pretty much it for the setup of the display campaign. Now, a few key pointers for your display campaign. Pointer number 1, once you have your display campaign set up and running and it's spending money, don't touch that display campaign for the next 7 to 14 days because, as I told you earlier, display campaigns take a bit of extra time to work because in the beginning, all they're doing is just getting a bunch of clicks, and that's why you start them at a very, very low budget. So 7 to 14 days of waiting. You don't want to do anything. Don't even look at the data for those first 7 to 14 days. And then after 7 to 14 days, you can make your next calculated decisions. If you want to know how to optimize a display campaign, just let me know down in the comment section, and I might make a video on that if there's enough demand. But key pointer number 2, don't just rely on display campaigns to get you those view through conversions or just conversions in general. You should have a multitude of different types of campaigns running. So smart shopping, performance max campaigns, search campaigns, shopping campaigns, and only then will display campaigns work. Because again, a lot of these display campaigns work off of the retargeting data. If you decide to go with cold traffic, even then your Google Ads account needs data to make this display campaign work. So you want to keep that in mind when creating a display campaign. But key pointer number 3, you can't just completely get rid of the targeting later on after about 30 days or so once your display campaign has shown some positive results, or you can keep those audiences in and then kind of make this campaign more for cold traffic as well. Because once a display campaign has enough results, you can then take it a bit further and go into the cold traffic targeting. But until then, just start off with the retargeting and just keep it at that until you get some good results, because again, display campaigns might take a bit of extra time to become fully profitable. But that is pretty much it on how to strategize and create a full-on display campaign so that you find 6 to 7 figures worth of results from them. Again, if you don't want to take these extra steps, you would rather have somebody else do it for you, go on to our website at euromarketing.com and book a free call with me to see if we can work together and if I can help you scale your store further, especially if you're doing $30,000 in sales or more. But if you found any type of value in this video, destroy that like button and destroy that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.